We're here in the Blackfriars terrace with Hereford FC chairman Chris Ammonds. Chris, I just realised it's nearly been a year since you got the job. How have you found the 12 months?
Hectic, chaotic, challenging, but all in all, I think probably enjoyable deep down in amongst it. The footballs will always probably remain the best bit because we're all football fans at the end of the day, and actually the football's gone pretty well so far. So yeah, it's been quite an experience. Obviously you don't get any training really to come and have a go at doing this, but no, generally it's been all right.
We're currently in the Blackfriars terrace, which has been condemned for a long time. I think the Graham Turner era was the last time we had supporters in both sides. I think David Keat had supporters one end and there was a temporary stand. What's the current situation with what's going on here? Yeah,
we've been in talks with the council, and discussions continue with the council. I think they're putting together some plans for this end, which I'm sure they'll publicise and they'll be looking at doing. I think obviously the first stage will be the demolition of this end will have to be the first stage before they can think about moving forward with anything. But I think things are progressing well. I have the feeling that actually we might see some action this time. I know it's been talked about a lot in the past, but I think there's a real will and a real drive to make this end look tidier, both on the football pitch facing side but also on the outlook from the retail park as well. So over the next weeks and months, I'd like to think we'll see some decent movement on it.
So this could be potentially bulldozed in the not too distant future.
I think so. I mean, that's got to be the first stage of any plan. So the council, it's down to the council at the end of the day. It's not on our lease. This is the council owned, well, our whole grounds council owned, but this isn't on our lease, so it's down to them to move that forward. But I get the impression that they're keen to be moving on that as quickly as possible.
And there's quite a bit of land here, isn't there? Because when you go out the back, there's quite a big area, and even if you built something going to where the wall or the goal is, there's a lot of scope here for development.
Yeah, you forget because of the nature of the way the terraces are curved. You do forget quite how much space there is here. So I think there's space for a decent sized development of whatever nature they want, but also from a selfish point of view, from a club point of view, obviously a decent enough size stand this end to bring us back to a four-sided stadium.
In your programme notes today, you talked about the budgeting for next season. How's that going?
Yeah, it literally is ongoing, to be honest. You've got to start it. You've got to start making plans. I'd like to have started it a little bit earlier, to be honest, but we've obviously had a lot to be getting on with and a lot of work to do. But we've got to look at, George Webb's been putting together the commercial budget for next year to look at what income we can create there. We've obviously got to be thinking about telling Paul the sort of budget he's going to have on the football side next year so he can do his planning. And just right across the club, really, we've just got to try and put the figures down and agree it as a board, and then we know exactly what we're targeting in terms of bringing in income and what our likely expenditure is going to be.
And finally, you put on Twitter about the Former Players Association. How's that going to work?
I think it's just a fantastic idea. I was smiling at all the names I was seeing last night on social media, and I think Jamie and a couple of others have been driving forces behind that. And we get a lot of older players and former players coming back here on a match day to help in hospitality, and we see them just coming to watch games and stuff. But this will just formalise it a little bit more, and I think this day and age, I think it's just an opportunity for people to get together a bit more often, something more formally. And I know there are lads that are still in touch, and there's been various reunions over time, but this will just give us maybe a real opportunity to look at doing more bigger events potentially, and actually create a bit of a community within our community. And I think when you're in a team with other individuals, you've always got a bit of a bond, haven't you? And this will just, as I said, it'll give it a chance to be formalised.